So this is a largely Radwood focused show, so lots of cars from the 80s and 90s, so things like an Alpine, BMW 7 Series, Acura Legend, Mitsubishi Stereo, see an old 993 back there in the blue. So many like cool quirky cars from the 80s and 90s. You're gonna find some of the quirkiest ones and some of the coolest ones at that, and have a big walkthrough of this show. It's amazing Delta HF Integrale Evo. It is so clean. Always love these cars. Just love the rally style wheels. We've got the FD here. LS swap, so a lot of people are pretty opinionated on that. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide if you like it or not. And beside that, I've got the OG RX-7, the FB, which is still equipped with its rotary engine. So that's nice to see. A very desirable, maybe lesser known JDM car, but a very good one, a very powerful one, the 3000 GT. And this is the V6 twin turbo variant, so the VR4. So the most desirable of the 3000 GTs. Very nice. All right, very cool French sports coupe here, the Alpine A310. So this was available in an inline 4 and a V6 turbo, I believe, but this is the V6 turbo model, so the faster variant. Fun fact, if you have watched the Evangelion anime as many times as I have, you probably would have recognized Misato's cars. She actually has a blue one of this A310 in the show, so there's your little mix of cars and anime in this video. So this is probably the most interesting car that we have seen at the Detroit car scene community. This is the original Aston Martin Lagonda, so their very first four-door car that was so far ahead of its time. This was actually the most expensive car in the world when it first debuted. I believe it was back in the late 70s that it actually debuted, but there's so few of these. And I'm gonna have a look at the interior and show you guys why this car is so unique, aside from the fact that it is a wedge-shaped four-door Aston Martin. So, I mean, just have a look at how futuristic the interior is, the digital dashboard, the digital instrumentation. First car to feature touch switches, actually. And just this incredibly detailed red leather. So only 645 examples of the Lagonda were ever produced. We have no idea how many are actually left. And this is the only one in this color combination, so incredibly rare to see this car. So looking at the Lagonda from the back, you can see it's clearly a very basic wedge-shaped design, but it's all about luxury. And the thing is this car was meant to be driven around in. So you can see the sunroof is actually only for the back seat, as again, it was mainly meant for the owner to be driven around in. So here we have a super rare and very, very nice slant nose 930 Cabrio. So obviously the different front end that you normally see on a Porsche, it's pretty self-explanatory. The front slopes down a lot more and you don't have those regular circular Porsche headlights. You get the flip-ups. So that is really cool. Just behind that though, we have one of the weirdest automotive collabs you'll probably ever see. This is an ASC Mclaren Mercury Capris. So yeah, it's really weird to see McLaren and Mercury in the same names. It's basically a styling and appearance package for the most part. And you get these special wheels, you get the orange accents. I think there might have been a few different interior decals as well, but it's really weird that you can see kind of on the steering wheel, On the carpets too, all the badging is ASC Mclaren. There's no signs of Mercury anywhere, but the package itself, I believe, is really expensive to the point where it's almost as much as the car itself. So you'd basically be buying 2 Capris. So these are obviously extremely rare because not many people got it. Yeah, just another one for the quirky car collection at Radwood here at the Detroit Cars and Community. So on display here at the Detroit Cars and Community, this is actually the one variant of the new 2024 7th Gen Mustang we actually didn't get a walk around of. So this is the coupe version of the GT. So it has those nice blue Brembo brakes. Really like this gray color on it too, actually. We didn't really get a close look at the interior of the Mustang the other day, but this one, we kind of get a look through the reflections if we can. But optional Recaro seats, it's got the manual. Interior, I guess, is still pretty standard looking, but some good 80s supercars here too. Of course, we have the original Testarossa, which has the flying mirror spec. Really nice. And just on the other side here,
College for Creative Studies and Radwood Detroit. Take home a piece of
we have the black Countach. I'm going to get around to the front of it and have a better look at it. There you go. It's so great to see the interior of a Countach up close.
Wheel of a classic with Hagerty's Ride and Drive.
It's in fantastic condition. And just have a look at the classic V12 in the back here.
Action with jam-packed fun at the Kids Zone with automotive activities and crafts on Elizabeth Street. Suburban Radwood Awards. The car show you hate to love will anoint their latest Worst in Show at 12:15 p.m. today.
And we have a couple of really cool, quirky little Japanese K cars here. K cars are just very small sports cars with very tiny little engines. As we can see here in this Suzuki Cappuccino. And you might be able to see the gull-wing doors beside it of the Mazda AutoZam AZ1. Yeah, there's a lot of very funky, quirky cars here, and I love it. You have a few supercars leaving Cars and Community here from Hagerty. The Huracan Evo Spider, we got the STO, and the F1 Edition Vantage.